How's everybody? It's been a couple of weeks. We got a lot of new faces here on the channel in the past couple of weeks. I'm experiencing another kind of influx over the last little while. We got the live chat. That's what we're going to let dictate today's conversation. So, hey, Brampton, what's up? You're not far. You're not far at all. You're not far at all, Brampton. Australia, you're very far. Yeah, I'm just going to be hanging out with you guys tonight. I got a little something that came in the mail today that I'm excited to open here live on the live stream to share with all of you guys, because I wouldn't have it without you guys. So I'm excited. I'm going to do that in a couple minutes once I have some more people on. But in the meantime, yeah, hello to a lot of the new faces. The last few episodes in a row now have done quite well, starting with Are All Serial Killers Sexually Motivated, moving on to why America seems to have so many serial killers, and then finally with the third episode there in that stretch of how many are active right now. Those episodes each cleared 200,000 views for me, so that's been very good, and we saw the channel hit 100,000 subscribers, and we've seen just a lot. So let's get into the comments here right away. Get into the chat. I'll start there, okay? I'm going to watch a short video about how to make French onion dip. I'll be right back. Okay. What a place to start. Hi from California. Hey, Callie. Have you made a couch episode on Richard Chase? I have not. Sarah Beamer, I'm not sure. Thank you for the hello. Hello. Thanks for the email last night. I got it. I read it. I emailed you back, I believe. I'd love to chat with your... I'll email you again. What's in the box? I'm guessing that's a 7 reference. But yes, 100K silver plaque. You deserve it. Yeah, I think that's more than likely what it is. But yeah, here. I saved it. I didn't want to open it without doing it on a live, because I thought, hey, I wouldn't have, this thing without all you people that come and watch my videos, so why don't I open it live there? I tell you this much, though. Judging by the box, they've made them smaller than they used to, because the channel that I used to work for, they had one, and it was yay big. I don't know. I'm back. Okay, so tell us, how do we make French onion dip? Because I think we're all dying in the comments. So yeah, before I open this thing and share it with everybody, I want to let you know where the channel is headed over the next couple of weeks to months. So a few months ago, I released that video saying that in the summer I was going to be doing another round of Where Did All the Serial Killers Go? Well, that's still in development, so it's turned into the fall. But the good news is I'm shooting those episodes. They're ready. And starting in September, Where Did All the Serial Killers is coming back with a string of episodes that are, I think, going to be really, really strong and really, really good and really interesting and really bizarre and really probably argument-inducing in the chat. Let me get back into the chat. I'd really like to see you do a video on Fred and Rosemary West, to be honest. It's such an interesting case to me. Fred and Rosemary West, I mentioned a couple times in a few things. And yeah, I agree. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to hold off on killer couples for Valentine's Day. I mentioned them in the Bonnie and Clyde episode that I'm still editing in the background while I'm doing all this other stuff. Let's see. Do a video on Russell, guy from the military in Trenton. I have a full episode on Russell Williams already. Biotech Babe. It's one of my favorites. You have to go back and find it. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's his name's either in it or he's definitely in the thumbnail. He's in the thumbnail wearing those outfits. So yeah, maybe Kinky Commando, I think I called it. But you should go. It's a great episode, so you should check it out. He's got his own full episode. You should check out the essay of Carlo Maria Capola called The Law of Human Stupidity. We're starting as a joke between him and... Did you comment that? I think I read your comment. You commented that on the actual video, right? What are your thoughts on... But it does sound interesting, and I should check it out. Hello from Scotland. My brother lives in Scotland. One of the writers. Well, one of. He and I. Relating to the video about cereal's intelligence. Yeah. What plans for Halloween, if you're willing to say anything? I don't have anything planned for Halloween, actually. That's a good idea. It's a good... last Halloween, I think... I can't remember. Yeah. You know what? It's 5 after. Let's open this thing. I can't wait any longer. Since this isn't a channel where you're going to see me do an actual unboxing video, I thought I'd unbox it in the live. So let's see what we got. I feel bad doing this without like Wednesday here. But let's see. I'm excited. Okay. Black foam. Congratulations on your subscriber milestone. We are honored to take part in recognizing your achievement and want your experience to be exceptional. This award was inspected and packaged with great care by Rick. Well, thank you, Rick. If your award was damaged, blah, blah, blah. Do you remember your first subscriber? I do remember my first subscriber. I also remember my thousands, getting the 1,000. We went out for dinner. Well, here it is. Here's the plaque. Let's see. Here we go. There it is, people. Presented to Breakfast Cereal for passing... I actually got little goosebumps. For passing 100,000 subscribers. Wow. I am actually really happy about that. And I feel very fortunate. Very fortunate. So thank you, everybody here. Thank you, everyone who's watched my videos, everyone who's subscribed, everyone who's commented. This is really cool. I can't wait. I can't wait to get the 1,000,000 plaque. But yeah, I'm going to find a nice place for that. It does feel really good. That feels really, really good. So thank you. It's a lot of work over the last 3 years. Almost 4 to get to there. So thank you. So yeah, what do you guys want to know? What do you want to talk about? I want to look at this again. I'm sorry. It's cool. Maybe I shouldn't have done it live because now I just want to look at it. It's nice. It's very nice. It's very cool. We're so proud of you. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you for great content. Well, thank you. Congratulations. That's so fun that they do that. Or Rick does. Yeah, Rick. It's funny, eh? Because like they even in the one email it had his like full name and it's the same name as a guy that I knew in high school. I was like, is it the same guy? Somehow I doubt it, but based on that guy. But yeah. I'm a new viewer, but I genuinely love your content. I've just been binge watching it for like the past month. It's such great content to me. You deserve it. Well, thank you, Wingy89. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's been a labor of love, this channel, that's for sure. That sounds weird to say it's about serial killers, but it's just making the content, making the stuff like since day one. I've said since day one, and I will continue to say it no matter how big this channel ever gets. I'm going to live or die by my own content and my own. I'm not chasing the algorithm. I'm not going to chase viral fleeting success. I'm going to make stuff that I love making. And then if I have success with that, guess what? That I'm a happy guy and I'm not going to burn out because I'm just doing what I love, right? I'm a proud mom. My son got his YouTube button. I don't know who you are. That's not my mom. What's next? Merch? I don't know. Can anyone see what I'm wearing? This is the first. I've got my samples in. This is one of the first shirts that I've had made, and personally I think it's super cool. I'm a big fan of more understated. I'm not going to do some giant stuff, just splash the logo on things. So I like these, like, so the button, the badge, that I got my first mug sample. I'm not happy with the mug sample. I got to get it redone. I got these. First came in. This is a button. This is a magnet for if you know, you know. If you know, chat, say what you know. But I mean, the goal is Well, spoiler, next week, next Wednesday in the live. I'm going to do a live next Wednesday. I'm going to announce the merch, and I'm going to announce the launch of the merch and a launch of something else special. Would you do any stories of people caught before they became serial killers? Call them near misses. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I've been on that topic for a while. I think the obvious one that comes to mind right off the top is Brian Kohlberger. I can't remember. He seems like a good candidate, maybe, or at least a lot of people say that. However, he did know the victims, which makes it less serial killer-y, if you ask me, because they often don't. He seems like he had some sort of slight with those people to an extent, or at least one of them, which isn't very serial killer-y. It's also not very serial killer-y, generally speaking, to kill multiple people at once, is it really? I guess BTK did, didn't he? Now I'm going down that's another good topic, eh? But, are you going to make another video on which serial killers you think you could take in a fight? That video didn't do very well at all. No. But yes, I would love to do another one of those. I thought it was fun personally, so I will at some point. It'll be worldwide shipping, yes. I'd like a bingo card. Hey, Tracy, I still have bingo cards kicking around, so I'll make sure that they go back on the sale. Okay, I think they're cheap too, like $3 or something. Probably not that cheap. I can't remember. I'm heading to bed, 3 a.m., but wanted to join for a sec. Okay, Maddie, see ya. Will it be, you're welcome. I was the 100,000th subscriber. Do you think so? Because I'll tell you this much. I was sitting there at watching it go live, right? And, watch pot never boils type thing. Well, it was going up by 5 subscribers every couple minutes, right? And so when it got to 990, I was like, you know what, I'm going to watch for the last 10. And then it just dragged and dragged. And the funniest thing is it got to the number 900,999. And my wife was like, hey, I'm not subscribed. I could be your 100,000 if you want. And I was like, no, let's let it hit it organic. Thought that was pretty funny, though. Hey, man, I got to put my daughter down. Just wanted to bounce and say congratulations, my Canadian brother. Hey, thank you, Ryan. And I get that. Go, take care of the family. That's number one, always. Zodiac also tried to kill multiple people at once. Yeah, that couple, right? Couples. It's one of the reasons why the 80s and 90s are regarded as a golden age, while this decade, 2020s, suck, is because they had serial killers back then and we do not. Well, they called it the golden age of serial killers, which is a weird thing to call it, and people always blame me for saying that I made it up or something, but they called it that because it was more like the 70s, 80s, and early 90s was when they had this apparent peak of serial killer activity, okay? And during that time, numbers way higher than they'd ever seen or seen since. So there's a lot of speculation about what was going on in that time period that caused that. So the Where Did All the Serial Killers series I have explores two things, sort of. It explores reasons that could have led to that peak, like the lead exposure is one of the theories, right? So it's lead was so prevalent in the water and all of that for these children in developing brains of the 50s and 60s. So by the time those people born in the 50s and 60s are in serial killing age of their late 20s, all of a sudden it's the 70s and the 80s when all that peak's happening, right? So there's theories like that about what kind of caused that rise. And there's theories about what kind of could have contributed to the decline. One thing being technology, DNA prevalence, things like this that they didn't have in the 70s. So all of a sudden, DNA becomes a thing. Boom, serial killing starts to drop, right? All of a sudden technology, like cameras everywhere and things like this become a lot more prevalent and the drop, right? So that's Where Did All the Serial Killers Go kind of looks at. It looks at those contributing factors. And I have it, like I said, there's this new season, new and improved season. I can't wait to share it with you guys. That is looking at, I think there's 9 episodes that I've got. It's going to take us right through to the new year. Every other week of that, every other week will be Where Did All the Serial Killers Go, and then other stuff in between. But there's 9 new theories that I'm going to be exploring that are both contributing to either that rise or that decline. right? So it's going to be, some of them are very wild. Some have been requested a lot, and some I've never heard anyone request on the channel, but I think are very interesting. Hey, look at that. Somebody sent 5 gift memberships. Bernie Bay. That's very kind of you. I don't know where that's not showing up in the chat here. It's showing up on my phone to the side. But that's amazing, Bernie. Thank you. I'm not sure. How does that work? What does that mean? Sent 5 serial gift memberships. Does that mean we can gift them to someone else? Or do you give them to somebody? I'm not sure. I think I agree a lot with the media theory that the media focusing more on mass murderers and less serial killers is most likely possible. Yes. Okay, so here's my thing about the media, okay? I've heard that a lot. Like, well, the media just stopped reporting on it because they didn't want panic and all of this, or blah, blah, blah. But the media doesn't give a shit. The media thrives on that, right? If it bleeds, it leads. They're about their ratings, right? So the more, like, messed up something is, the media is not going to shy away from reporting on that. They're going to report on it more because they're going to get more eyes on the screen. They're going to get more, you know, in their freaking rushes or whatever back in the day and all that. So I don't think it's a matter of the media just deciding not to report on it. They would do it if it was there, for sure. So it's like culturally what changed that led to this shift where we're having more of these like mass shooting episodes than we are of serial killers. What changed? I don't think the other, I have a video that's called "Did Serial Killers Evolve into Mass Shooters?" Right? I heard that a lot in the comments. People would say stuff like, well, the thing is that serial killers are, instead of becoming a serial killer now, people think it's too hard and they're going to get caught, so they just get it all out of the way in one event. But that's not what the mind of a serial killer works, right? Because it's like I've said in so many episodes, it's like an addiction for these guys. It's a compulsion. In the episode that I did on that, I compared it to like the mass shooter. Everything moves towards that one event, and the event is viewed as like a finale. They're done, right? A serial killer doesn't want to stop. So if a serial killer just went and decided, okay, I'm going to get it all done in one go, and did like a mass event, in like 3 months' time, they would go out and do another mass event. Because they couldn't just erase that compulsion, right? They're not trying to make some point. Usually a mass shooter is trying to do something for revenge or to make a point or something like that, and 9 times out of 10 they finish themselves in the same time, right? Serial killers never do that, right? It's a whole different mentality. So that episode's interesting. You should check it out. It's one of the earlier ones that I did in the Where Did All the Serial Killers Go series. Theoretically, wouldn't 2020 have been one of the most perfect times for any aspiring serial killer? What with the anti-police protests and overall lockdowns at the time? Well, I don't know about the police protests having an effect on it. I don't know. Lockdowns? How do you think a lockdown would encourage it? I'm trying to wrap my brain around that. It's interesting, but I have to think about it, I guess. I took a class in college called Serial Killers in Pop Culture, where we examined fictional portrayals of serial killers in books and movies. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit in the latest episode about how they, you know, how the media or the Hollywood has portrayed serial killers as these masterminds. Look at like Seven, look at like Hannibal Lecter, stuff like that, right? And it's very far from the truth. By the way, if you haven't seen the latest episode about whether or not you're smart as a serial killer, it's about because it's about that myth of like this weird myth that people have sometimes that serial killers are evil geniuses. So it looks into the data on IQ and intelligence, and then it examines different forms of intelligence, different kinds of intelligence, right? Because IQ is not the only thing. There's things like emotional intelligence and things like this, right? So you should definitely check that out. And I need some eyeballs on that episode. Also, I wanted to say about the last episode, I really appreciate nobody giving me a hard time about bringing sponsors onto the channel, because, you know, I was anticipating some kickback. People going like, oh, F this guy, he's sold out. He's got a sponsor read. I'm out of here, you know? But for the most part, I'd say 99% of the comments were congratulating me on having the opportunity to have a sponsor. And I appreciate that because, I mean, the channel is a ton of work and I cannot just continue to do it 100% without earning money. I can't work 40 hours a week on episodes for people and not earn money to feed myself and my family. So sponsors are a thing that will have to happen on the channel. 60 seconds of an episode is going to be towards a sponsor. But that's how I'm going to be able to continue to do this as a full-time thing. So I really appreciate the support of everybody and like the encouragement that I got from the comments by saying like, hey, good on you, man. It's awesome that you had enough. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Disorganized versus organized. Super chatted $5. Hey, thank you very, very much. OMG, goes, so whatever. There's a question that came with it. Interesting. The questions aren't showing up in the chat. When somebody super chats, it's not showing up properly. So I can see it down here. So consider doing an episode on how dumb, Herb Baumeister, or however you pronounce his name, was. I lived in walking distance to Fox Hollow Farms and literally passed by it 2 days ago. Yeah, I've thought about that one. I can't remember why. Lockdown would make it harder to detect people disappearing since no one was leaving their house. And a lot were just sick. Sure, I can see that. Like it would take longer to show up on the radar that you were missing because you didn't have to go into the office or you didn't have to go to this event or that event or blah, blah, blah. I lived in an apartment once in New York City, actually. And one day, me and my roommate were coming back. It was out on 14th, and we lived on 14th and 1st at the time. And we were coming back, and there was like police across the hall from our apartment. And I guess the person who lived across the hall had passed away, and they passed away like not necessarily like that day. It had been a little bit maybe, and it was very weird, very sad. You know, it's like they're right across the hall. I got another. Just keeping up on the. Are you familiar with the World's End murders? Case from the 70s in Edinburgh. Angus Sinclair was eventually convicted. He had been controversially acquitted some years previous. No, I'm not. We're familiar with that as a film. Edinburgh's a great city, though. Most FBI data on killers during lockdown was equated to cabin fever, but there are quite a few interesting bits I was able to get on unsolved death. That's interesting to look at, you know. Good old lockdown, huh? Somebody gave me $4.99. Sarah Beimer. Sarah, thank you again. I really appreciate it. That goes a long way. Honestly, it does, guys. I really appreciate it. Just because I respect what you're doing. Well, thank you. Thank you. I met Samuel Little, the sick MF. Please cover him. People should know. He is almost 100. I talked about him in the America episode. How many are active right now? I talked about him in just fairly briefly, but I talked about him and how they weren't even really looking for him when they caught him. Right? Like he got picked up on a drug charge, and through DNA after it's picked up on there, they got tied to like one murder or two murders or something, and then from there it unfolded that it was like more like 100. Crazy. And that's an interesting and scary thought about a lot of serial killers. How many times do you see that serial killers are not caught because there's like they're out looking for a serial killer? They're not like there's not a big task force in search of this guy, right? It's just like they stumble upon some guy doing some other crime, they pick him up, they bring him in, and then they discover that he's done a bunch of other shit, and then he's caught. They've caught this serial killer, and we learn about it all after the fact. Even Dahmer, right? Look at Jeffrey Dahmer. There was no citywide panic over Dahmer at all. There was no hunt for the Milwaukee Monster, the Milwaukee Cannibal. That nickname didn't exist before he was captured, right? It's not like Son of Sam. So you look at Son of Sam, he was killing people. The city was in a panic. People were afraid to go out at night. Women didn't want to walk home alone. Same with Night Stalker, right? That kind of thing. Dahmer? No one had a singular clue, really. maybe his neighbor and a few people, right? But there wasn't like a citywide panic. There was not a hunt for an active serial killer. Tracy Edwards escapes from Dahmer's apartment with the one handcuff, brings police back with him. They come in, and then they go, oh my God, what the hell is this? Now we have the Milwaukee Monster, right? It's crazy. And that happens all the time. More often than not, if you ask me. Like, there was the Green River Task Force, sure. We were talking about that earlier. They were looking for a Ridgeway. Rifkin, they weren't really looking for Rifkin. They weren't really looking for... Yeah, they were looking for Bundy. Ted, right? Zodiac, they never caught, but they were looking for. But a lot of times there was a lot of people. Yeah, and Berkowitz was arrested for a parking ticket. I mean, yeah, it was the parking ticket, but the parking ticket, that became part of like the investigation looking for... it wasn't like he was brought in for a parking ticket unrelated to the Son of Sam case, and then they linked him to it. At least. But yes, it was. It was like a meter maid. Well, not really, but yeah. Cubs, greater than Blue Jays. Oh. You know what? The Cubs suck, okay? They're good this year, yes. And Toronto is bad this year, yes. Will the Jays make the playoffs? I'm going to say they probably will. The American League is terrible. I think the Jays make the playoffs. I think what happens is the Jays get hot and finally wake up end of the season, mid-September, go on a run, stay hot, end up winning it all. That would be the kind of year it would be, and it would be annoying because it wouldn't feel great. Sorry, rant over. Body pants? It's piss pants. Piss pants, Ted. Piss pants Bundy. But body pants works too. Probably because the bias of the police department. He was preying against those who were undesirables. Yes. Were they looking for Kemper? Yeah, they were looking for Kemper. They were knowing there was like co-ed killer. Don't get in the car with this. Don't be a hitchhiker. Who really was the real Jack the Ripper? I heard through DNA they found someone related to him years later. Yeah, every few months somebody's like, oh, they figured out who the Jack the Ripper was. Then you look into it and it's like, nah, no, they didn't. I do think they will, and I think they will also solve Zodiac through DNA stuff eventually. You know, I think especially as like more that samples and I don't know. I just think it'll happen. Piss Pants Bundy. There we go. I've been invested in Zodiac for years and years. In 2014, I visited Lake Berryessa, Blue Rock Springs Park, Lake Herman Road, and the intersection where Paul Stein was shot. That's pretty crazy. Vlad Jr. to Cubs for a minor leaguer is your only hope. Yeah, Vladdy. Oh, sorry. I won't talk more about Blue Jays. Been binge watching your channel all day, Josh. Love the content. Stay blessed, healthy, and hydrated. Well, thank you. What's the origin of Piss Pants Bundy? Always makes me crack up. The origin of Piss Pants Bundy is the first episode that I did on Bundy. It was like the original couch episode on Bundy. My brother wrote it, actually. It was that he when he was a kid, he would... It's actually kind of sad because like he was clearly neglected and not looked after properly. He would piss his pants. But like I made a joke that like he pissed his pants because his parents wouldn't buy him a designer bow tie or something like that. I forget exactly, but I called him Piss Pants Bundy in that, I think. And then since then, every now and then I'll just pull it back out. Is that a baby? No, that's a cat. Puss, come here. And then Freddie the dog's down here. Fred, you were in the last episode. You want to come up? Police really pick and choose sometimes. It sucks. Zodiac's MK Ultra. MK Ultra is finally coming. I'm finally doing the MK Ultra episode. People have been on me to do that. It's going to be a different episode, though, I think. It's because it's so big. I feel like it's so big of a topic. So deep. Yeah. Couch stuff. Someone saying that they just watched the Bundy episode. Couch stuff will be still in circulation. There'll be fewer of them just because they just don't perform as well. So I still love doing them, so they're going to happen. Couch stuff that's still coming up yet is I have Bonnie and Clyde like 3/4 edited. I have an episode on the Branch Davidians and David Koresh in the works. We're talking about doing a Roy DeMeo. Kind of getting away from serial killers on the couch and doing more like other areas of crime. So like we're doing like these cults and things, right? The Heaven's Gate episode recently has started to tick upwards after being already online for quite a while. And it's one of my favorites. So I'm glad to see that it's getting some love now. Finally, Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, well, we'll see how long it takes to finish. It's just a massive, massive episode. So couch episodes are very, very, very hard to do. But it makes it worth it, right? The internet is running stories that Dahmer and Son of Sam are tied to some MK Ultra. What's the validity on that? I don't think much. Dahmer's a government agent. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm laughing out of my ass now. Someone's gonna. The thing is, when I make that MK Ultra video, no matter what I say, people are gonna attack the shit out of me, for sure. So if you love Doobie Jesus, if you love cult stuff, have you seen my Heaven's Gate episode? Dahmer was in the army and stationed in Germany. Yes, he was. He was like barely in the army. Are you ever going to cover... I have done Jonestown. I got a full episode on Jonestown. From like a year and a half ago, more than that maybe. Go check it out. It's good. Jim Jones. It's more Jim Jones. But like... obviously, Jonestown is the main part of that. Ever consider covering serial killers from the healthcare industry? Quite an amount of nurses and doctors silently unalive patients. Not just Shipman, of course. Yeah, I mean, I have a Shipman episode already, full-length Shipman episode, and he's come up in a few other ones. LOL, MK Ultra just made Dahmer very hungry. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. They just gave him weed instead of LSD, and he just said munch. That's terrible. Where's the Cray twins video, bro? Your name is Cray, bro. I've talked about the Cray twins in the Broadmoor episode. Talked about them for a stretch. Ronnie, Cray. I can't remember the other one's name, actually. I need to see your vid you just mentioned. What vid I just mentioned? Unabomber Ted was 100% MK Ultra. Well. Maybe. But maybe not. You have to watch my episode, because I looked into that one a lot. Raelism? The French UFO cult, eh? Yo, send me that. What is that one? Raeism. I don't even think I heard of that one. I love the UFO stuff, man. I gotta get out to Area 51 and what's it called? Fuck, what's that town called? Roswell and stuff. I'd love to go out there. I haven't been out there. I'd love to check out the kitsch side of that. Have anybody seen Louis Theroux? He's amazing. His show called Weird Weekends, and he does one where he hangs out with UFO people, and it's so good, man. It's so good. I think it was the Bonnie and Clyde. Oh, yeah, Bonnie and Clyde's coming. It's coming. Yeah, I just came across your channel recently, so kind of new here, but I love the content you make. Travis, sorry, what were you asking something about it before? Did I comment about it? Sorry. If you fuck around... I can't remember what FOIA means. There's so many short forms, right? I can't remember what that one means. Around MK Ultra and ongoing experiments being done to people around the world, you'll get a lot of pages filled with, I think you mean redactions. When I talked with Ted K and asked him, wow, look at that. He said he was sure they messed with him. He was hard. Yeah, okay, well, Louis Theroux is brilliant. Yes, he is. Man, some of my favorite stuff is his stuff. When he did the Most Hated Family in America, when he goes and he hangs out with Westboro Baptist Church, back like in the, I don't know, 2005, 6, something like that, when they were right in their prime, if you want to call it that. Incredible. Since we're going aliens, do you think Dr. Stephen Greer has validity? I don't know enough. I got a Freedom of Information Act. There we go. Yeah, thank you. Richard Ramirez is one of the most brilliant ones. One of the most brilliant what? It's super crazy cult, and they were up to all sorts of stuff. UFOs, cloning, etc. They ended up moving to Canada and the U.S. The leader is still alive. Definitely need to look into them. LOL. Somebody had put me in touch with the webmaster of Heaven's Gate, and I was supposed to talk with him, and he was supposed to come on the channel, so I hope that still happens. I think the town by Area 51 is called Rachel. I'm not sure. Yeah, he put cyanide in his kids' Halloween candy, and that's what started Halloween urban legends. Yeah, I know that one. I refer to you in all my debate about killers. Well, thank you. That's wild, Tulip. Let's look at this again. There it is. Okay, and today, if you missed it earlier, we opened up this for the first time. Came in from YouTube. Breakfast Cereal's plaque for passing 100,000 subscribers. By the time it got here, we're already up to almost 110,000. We'll maybe cross over 110,000 today, probably. So onwards and upwards. Not a serial killer, but Brian Kohberger was granted a hearing for June 2027 to discuss taking back his guilty plea. Was he really? Interesting. Why would they plan it so far out? Would you ever interview Taylor Shabusiness? I can't remember what she is now. I forget. I recognize the name, but there's so many people. Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 is all about aliens. Yeah, he is. Congrats, Jay. Speaking of mail, still waiting on that Spider-Man comic collection in the mail. What are we talking about again? You wanted me to mail you my Spider-Man comic collection? I was going to go buy... I got to buy Amazing Spider-Man 300 in the next couple of weeks, I think. I've been saving up. Got to bite the bullet sooner or later. It's the last one that I need from that run. Love it. Tasteful award. It is tasteful. It's nice. It's nice. It's way smaller than they used to be, but it's still very cool. It's very nice. Nicely done. It's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah, apparently that's why he left Blink-182 chasing UFOs. Yeah, it's part of it. And I mean, he also had that other band, right? Angels and Airwaves. It's gonna be the same last thing again. The one where I wake up and I'm alive. Good old Blink. Josh, you should make an episode trying and rating the favorite breakfasts of famous stranger annihilators. Yeah, I would have to figure out what they liked for breakfast. He might be kooky, but his vodka's good stuff. Can you do a video on the, I always can never pronounce it, cult that killed 14 people on a subway with nerve gas plant? Orange, purple ring. Maybe. Alien belief and drug use could probably be put in a Venn diagram. She's with meth psychosis. She probably wouldn't be fun to interview. Have you ever read the very disturbing comic Ice Cream Man? No, I haven't. What do you guys think if I did some alien stuff for a while? Would that be okay? Or would people hate it because I'm supposed to be doing only serial killers? You're so down to earth and chill. Would know where did the killer's fascination come from? It just came from. I find that kind of stuff interesting. I find it interesting to like think about why people do things that they do, and I think that when other people don't, same circumstances, same abuse, and blah blah blah, whatever it may be, and you go that way, and then this other guy goes this way and does all this, and then I watched a lot of that stuff in like the '90s, like in the early 2000s when summer vacation from school. Watching like American Justice every day. A&E biography channel, and it would be like A&E biography Jeffrey Dahmer, and we'd watch that, you know. I would like to comment talking more about talking about more than just serial killers. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. When you eventually run out of stories on serial killers, what's next? Alien stuff would be neat. Yeah, the whole. There's always going to be branching out, like. I'd be okay with anything about aliens. I don't believe in aliens, but I would watch content if you made. You don't believe in aliens? Come on, man. Aliens are a given, right, guys? Like, the size of the universe? Gotta be. I mean, I don't necessarily know if they're here, but they gotta be out there. Did I study psychology? No, I didn't. If you were to pick which serial killer was the most heinous, who would you choose and why? I don't know. Albert Fish comes to mind. Anybody who has anything to do with kids is just absolutely awful, and I can't even talk about it, so I don't want to. I think more true crime. So many domestic murder cases. Yeah, I don't know. Like, often, like, when other channels do that, they just start tackling regular crime cases or other murder cases, or, like, just, like, doing shit like, she found his head in a bucket. I don't know. I don't think it's my alley, so we'll see. The government said that aliens exist, bruh. Seen UFOs a few times in my life. Even got a photo. You know what? I'll tell you a story, okay? I was camping a few years ago. My wife and I, we were camping. I can't remember. We might have not even been married yet. And we go down to the beach. Like, we were at this campground where they had to go down these stairs, wooden stairs down like the side of this big hill to get down to the beach. And we go down there at like, I don't know, it's like 1, 2 a.m. or something to just lay on the beach and look up at the stars. And we're the only ones down on the beach, and it's like pitch black. And then all of a sudden we're looking up at the stars, and my wife's like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, what? And she points, I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? And we were like, I was convinced that it was aliens. 100% convinced. And I was scared. I didn't want to say I was scared because I didn't want to scare my wife. But she was convinced it was aliens too. We were both convinced we were just witnessing alien spacecrafts. And it was like this very perfectly spaced out stars in the sky. And they were all moving in unison in this line. And they were all disappearing at this one spot. Right? And like we go back up to our campsite. We're like scared going up these stairs. I'm all nervous. And I start Googling it when we get up there. And turns out, like, it was that Starlink thing, but it was brand new at the time. And, like, there was a few reports of people freaking the fuck out because they didn't say, like, there was no news, nobody saying, like, what this Starlink satellite thing looked like. And so a few people had the same reactions that we had. And it was like, but for, like, 5 minutes there in between, like, seeing it and getting up to the campsite. Oh my god. I was convinced. You say alien, I say demons. Agree to disagree. How many are watching from jail? Have you ever covered H.H. Holmes? Yes, I have. And his murder hotel. Yes. I have a full episode on him. I just watched a video on van lifers vanishing. Garth Brooks, April 1st. I'm going to do that, I think. I'm less interested in aliens themselves and more interested in cover-up attempts, Men in Black, etc. You know what's great? First couple seasons of X-Files, man. Go watch that. Amazing. I love it. Love it. Good vibe. Put it on every night. Like, fall asleep watching X-Files these days. Have you seen what new monster season Netflix is coming out with? No, I haven't. You get this. Never seen a single season of it. Didn't see the Dahmer one. Didn't see the Geen one. Didn't see the Menendez brothers one. And I can't remember if there's even one more. But I didn't see any of them. I would think most UFO sightings are similar to situations. Yeah, probably a lot are. Love X-Files. Yeah, it's so good. So good. What a vibe the original X-Files was. Mindhunters is great too, of course. Okay, folks. I'm going to go for 15 more minutes, okay? Chris Gaines definitely is, though. For real picks. Great shout. X-Files was top notch. I got a lot more. Going to see a new studio tomorrow as well, actually, for this shoot. I don't like the monster series. He's on Netflix. Lizzie Borden is next. Yeah, apparently the Geen one was just so far off. So it's like, it's kind of weird to me. It's like, if you're going to go that far off book, which is fine, why not just don't call it Geen, you know? Then it just seems like then it does feel like sensationalism. Like, I understand that you're always going to have to go off book a little bit because you're making a piece of entertainment. And the fact is that real life is not like that ever. You have to change things for TV and for movies. But, like, apparently that one was just really far off. Have you thought of covering underground cities they're developing with Elon Musk? No, I haven't. Watching Jazz Lettuce. Fucking Jazz Lettuce. I didn't watch horror movies growing up, really, and I don't watch them now either. For the most part, actually, I'm not a big fan. I watch a lot of drama, and I watch, a decent amount of comedy stuff, but I don't really like horror movies. I don't know. I always hated those haunted houses when I was a kid. Still do. I don't like to be scared. Exactly. It just feels like any particular video you've made you'd recommend to watch for someone new to your stuff. It depends. There's like different lanes, if you want to call it that, content lanes on the channel. There's more serious, there's more comedy, right? Serious, I would start with a very popular one anyways, is Did Technology Wipe Out Serial Killers, I think it's called. That's a very popular episode. It's the most popular. It's the only episode that's done 1 million views. Comedy wise, my favorites are the John Wayne Bobbitt episode. Also, I like the Last Meals episode. Those are ones where I get out of the studio and like go out around town doing things and stuff. I also like, for couch episode stuff, I like the latest one, Clark on Stockholm Syndrome. I like the Heaven's Gate episode as well. I think those are some of the better ones. Charles Bronson's quite good. That would be it. We got a long comment here from somebody. Somebody's putting the alphabet in for some reason. It's very kind of that person. I like the comedy Dahmer. Like the Dahmer episode is like episode 1. Yeah. Not you messing up the alphabet. So yeah, those are my recommendations. Personally, I think every episode I've ever put out is good because I don't. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't put it out. So everything has its merits, in my opinion. There's certainly ones that aren't some of the earlier ones I don't like as much anymore. I think it would be worth like redoing some of the topics at some point, like doing an updated Dahmer now that I've got my feet under me a little bit. You know, Picton, somebody says Picton's a great one. That's pretty early on. Like the channel when we started out, it was me, my brother, and cameraman Eric. And it was only couch episodes for the first like 2.5 years or something. And it was a while of like trying to find the right balance because it was like, sometimes it's like, okay, how do we cover this one without being insensitive? Because like, the point was to never make a joke at any kind of, make light of the crimes, never make jokes at victim expense, ever. Those were like rules. So it was like, it was difficult to try to find. Sometimes we might have gone a little far in one direction or the other, but like we're trying our best and we just got better at it as time went. What if Dahmer was replaced by Billy Madison and Madison was replaced by Dahmer? I would say, do you have any more gum? My favorite video of yours was about Charles Bronson. That's a popular one. I see it on my phone, but not on the TV I'm watching on. What's that? What do you mean? The fact that government is now acknowledging UAPs makes me even more skeptical about aliens. How's cameraman Eric? He's doing well. I'm meeting him in the morning, 9 a.m. We're going to look at some stuff for the channel. Some location stuff. Your content is amazing. I still got so much to catch up on. That's the beauty of finding a channel after it's already been around for 4 years of weekly releases. You got all that back catalog to catch up on. Been watching the channel for nearly a year now. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I'm so proud of how far you've come. Keep up the great content. Thank you. We're celebrating opening this tonight. Just came in the mail today. And thank you for those kind words. And I'm glad you've been with us for a year, with me for a year. Do you think serial killers coordinate? I do not. I don't think they ever do at all. Very seldomly, potentially, but no. It's a personal thing. Serial killing. It's not you know what I mean? They're not collabing. It's about fulfilling a thing and they keep it secret. Their wives don't know. You know what I mean? They have these compartmentalized lives. They're not talking about it with others. That wouldn't do them anything. That would not feed anything, I don't think, of them at all. And it wouldn't help them in any way. That wouldn't feed it. It wouldn't, it doesn't satisfy something in them, I don't think. Personally. I personally would say no, I don't think they do at all. Please do more British serial killers. Fred and Rose West. That's a few people have asked that. I've talked about them, and I talk about them again in the next episode that I'm doing. Also, Ian Brady, Mira Hindley. That's a good question, Travis. I want to see an episode on serial killers who killed other serial killers, if that's ever happened. I don't think it's really ever happened. I doubt. Maybe by accident. One time, like years ago, I wrote a thing about I wrote a short, because I've made up some short films and stuff back in the day, right? Like that's what I did for a long time before the channel. I have a bunch of like films and stuff. One of the ones I was writing at one point was two serial killers in a bar. It was like a comedy thing actually, and they had made each other the mark, and they were each like trying to drug the other one. And then they discovered, like, you know what I mean? And it was like this thing where I forget if it had ended up that they had both they both drugged each other and ended up both passing out in the bar. Can't remember, but it was funny. I don't think John Wayne Gacy collaborated with anyone personally. I think that's all just people looking for. Yeah. Just wondering, do you have a posting schedule or do you post randomly? I post weekly, every single week. Right now, Sundays, 6 p.m. Most of the time, I go live Wednesdays. I've taken the last 2 weeks off from going live on Wednesday nights, but most Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, regular episode on the weekend. I used to do Saturday mornings at like 8 a.m. for a long time, but the last like month now, I've done 6 p.m. Sunday night. So sometime on the weekend, but I'm leaning into Sunday night 6 p.m. because it's been performing quite well. So the next while will be all Sunday nights at 6 p.m. I made that joke in that last episode, right? The serial killers getting together for an annual convention. And nobody commented on it, but the picture I threw up of like saying they don't get together for a convention was like one of the main suspects they had for Zodiac, and he was wearing I put one of those name tags on him that said, "Hello, my name is Zodiac," and the guy was what's his name? Shit, I forget his name all of a sudden. I just did it. Alan, whatever. What's up, BFS breakfast suit? I'm assuming you doing all right tonight. I am, Bazooka Horse. How are you? We got smoke 'em if you got 'em, folks. We're gonna go another 4 minutes. Oh yeah, Dexter had a club until Dexter came along. Yeah. Hey guys, if you haven't watched this week's episode, make sure you get over there and watch today. The one on IQ and whether or not they're dumb. I think the thumbnail right now is Ed Kemper with the word idiot. Hey, Willy Wonka just subscribed to the channel. That's sweet. Oompa loompa doopa dee doo. And an American Horror Story, and I think it was the hotel one, but it's been a while. I had something. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, 3 minutes. It's been a good live. Fantastic. Thanks for asking, bud. You're welcome. Yeah, so just to round up again, this weekend, speaking of posting schedule, this weekend I'm taking off from posting it for the first time in a while because we're getting a whole bunch of stuff ready to come. So I need a week to build up some stamina. So we're shooting on Monday, Tuesday, and part of Wednesday. And then I'll be back the following week with Where'd All the Serial Killers Go? The next season, if you will. Hey Josh, thanks for the videos. Keep up the great work. Such interesting topics. Thank you. Appreciate it. BTK, can I send you a floppy disk? Please. No, don't send one. We'll catch you. What a guy. Is Canada as bad for cereals as us or the UK? I don't know. I can't think of many that we've had outside of like Bruce MacArthur, Luca Magnotta, Paul Bernardo, Picton, Russell Williams, kind of. That's about it that I can think of. Some guy out east at one point. My favorite ice cream place is near where Kemper lived with his mom. Nice. Nice. Enjoy your break, man. It's not a break. It's like I have to basically. I've had to take this whole week and finish like a whole ton of writing, so I haven't had time to edit for an episode to come out this weekend. So I've had to spend the whole entire week writing to finish up in time to shoot on Monday, Tuesday next week. I got to write all day tomorrow, all day Saturday and Sunday as well to be ready to go. But I've got everything outlined and for the most part written. It's just going through and cleaning everything up at this point. Josh, did you get a P.O. box yet? No, I didn't. I wonder about like before the Golden Age, like cowboy serial killers, like back in the 1800s. Always fascinated me. Yeah, that's cool, eh? Yeah. We will miss you, but look forward to next episode. Picton could or could not have killed loads of people, though. Who knows? Yeah. Okay, folks. We're going to wrap it up. Have you read the article Neurodevelopmentals and where'd it go? Psychosocial risk factors in serial killers and mass murderers? If you have not read it, read it. It's great. Okay. Serial killer guess who would love to. Absolutely love to. Just gotta find people that are willing to come and play and that are worth it having them on. Right? But yeah, I definitely would love to. How often do you do streams? Usually every Wednesday night, including next Wednesday. So, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to drop some merch next week, like this shirt, some other stuff. Most underrated channel, perhaps, on all of YouTube. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Do you think serials watch your channel? Probably somebody. I have a serial killer gift to send you. That sounds terrifying and incredible what you do. Thank you. When he does I'll have to get a P.O. box fairly soon. Good luck sending it across the border, though. They'll put tariffs on it. Mother effers. Stay blessed, healthy, and hydrated. It was great catching a live stream. Much love to you and yours. Same with chat. Y'all are very kind people. Thank you, Travis. That's very kind of you to say. And yeah, it's great to have a community where we can talk about this kind of thing, but be all very good, kind, caring, loving individuals ourselves, right? Like, that's what's important. Family and friends, man. You could try to get Kemper for an interview. Yeah. Been waiting for a merch. Excited. Any sneak peeks? Well, I'm wearing a sneak peek right now. This shirt. And I think it's really cool. I think that's pretty cool. Some pins, magnet for Stop the Swings. The mug, this mug that they made sucks. Oh, that's not the right mug. I need a new one of these yet before I'm happy with it. Doesn't look good yet. Okay, thanks for the hangout, Josh Nightall. Have a good night. Okay, folks. I appreciate everybody. And hey, 100,000. Love it. Good night, everybody.